In this video, I'm going to be unboxing and testing out the new RIDGID 12-inch 18-volt brushless chainsaw, so follow along to see my review.
Hey everyone, I just got this brand new RIDGID 18-volt 12-inch chainsaw. This is a cordless chainsaw here. I've got some brush to clean up, and instead of firing up my big chainsaw, I figured it'd be really nice to have a cordless one. So I'm gonna open this up here for the first time and show it to you guys. The chainsaw comes just as a chainsaw. So there's a little guard cover here. We have the 12-inch bar, and then it accepts a battery. Here is for bar oil. So anytime you get a chainsaw, you need to add bar oil, and every time you're using a chainsaw, it needs to have bar oil. That's what lubricates the chain. So here's a look at some bar oil that I'm gonna add to it. Let's go ahead and do that. So there's so many different brands of bar oil that you can buy. You can get really cheap ones, you can get better ones. This is Still. So we wanna add this in here and totally fill up this tank. We're gonna unscrew it, and now we are simply just gonna pour the bar oil in, just like that. And the bar oil lubricates the chain while it cuts. If you run a chainsaw without bar oil, it's gonna seize up and it's not gonna work. So all the time when you're running your chainsaw, you need to keep the bar oil full, otherwise the chainsaw will end up breaking. Top it up after about 10 minutes of cutting. You wanna check it, just never let it run empty. So we've got the bar oil in here, we've got the battery in, our chain is tight. We're gonna take the brake, flick it back, and turn this thing on. That starts up nicely. Okay, so here's a closer look at this. Anytime you get a chainsaw, you need to make sure the chain is sharp. So you should be able to pull down on it, and you want the teeth on the chain to stay in the grooves. So the bar has grooves, and as you can see, the teeth are still staying in. If you can pull down and they're way out, your chain's gonna fall out. This comes with a hook so you can hang it, and it comes with a tool here that you can use to tighten your bar. And here's an adjustment. I'm gonna adjust this chain after I make a cut, because typically after you make a cut, it may loosen. So I will show you guys in a minute how to adjust the bar and the chain. Okay, I've got a fully charged 8-amp-hour battery here. We're gonna test it. This is a piece of poplar that's come down here, and it's about 8 to 10 inch diameter. So take the brake off and let's fire this up. So as you can see, that log there, it's about 8-inch diameter. It cut through there nicely. Right out of the box, I haven't sharpened the chain. It's nice and sharp. You can tell because there's chips coming off there. If you're cutting with a chainsaw and you're getting fine dust, like sawdust, your chain is super dull. You need to replace it or sharpen it. So let's make another cut on here. As you can see, we have nice chips coming off of this. I'll show you cutting on this side. You can see the chips being exhausted. This chain is nice and sharp, straight out of the box. As you can see, I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts with this. So now, as you can see, our chain is a lot looser than it was when I first tested it. So as you cut, the chain can loosen. I'm gonna show you guys how to adjust the chain on a chainsaw. So to be safe, let's take the battery out. This is the brake. So if you push the brake forward, the chainsaw won't start either. And then if we take this tool out of the back, the first thing we wanna do is crack these and just loosen them. So as you can see, they're loose, and we have quite a bit of slack in here. This is our adjustment. So if we turn this half a turn, it's still got a little bit more play than I'd like. We'll go into quarter turn, and that's nice and tight. So now that we've adjusted it, we need to snug these down, give them a good snug using this tool. You don't want to reef on it, but you don't want it to move. So just like that, we've tightened the chain. There's still a little bit of play in it, like you can see, but the teeth on the chain, so when I pull down, you can see those teeth. We want the teeth to stay in the groove there. So if the teeth can come out, it's not tight enough. I'm gonna cut a couple more pieces here. I'll leave this thing recording and I'll just show you guys how it cuts.
For the sake of the video, I sped this section up to 2 times speed so you can see how it cuts here. I'm cutting a poplar log, which is technically a hardwood, and it cuts really well. I bought this chainsaw for $190 new Canadian. It would be a little bit cheaper in the US.
As you can see, I've got a bunch of pieces that I cut here. This chainsaw, honestly, I'm pretty impressed with it. I really have no complaint. It's got quite a bit of power for a little saw. Nice and lightweight. It doesn't drink bar oil. I still almost have as much as I put in there. Out of the box, the chain is nice and sharp. I'm getting nice wood chips when I cut, so it's nice and sharp. I've been told that you can put longer bars up to 16-inch on here. You don't want to go any further than that, but it's a nice saw to do all these cuts. This battery was fully charged when I put it in. It's at 3 bars. So realistically, 4, 7, I made 10 cuts and it used 1 bar on this battery, which honestly is really impressive. I can see this being a super handy saw. I can use it on decks and fences too, let alone in the bush if I'm taking the quad somewhere. I am quite impressed with this. Can't wait to use it more. Check it out.